All right, good morning traders and welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap and I'll be your host for the next hour and a half or so. And we're going to go through all the markets. Most people want to look at the S&P, so that's what we cover. But it's up to you. You can request another market and we'll do live analysis on it here. I'm the lead educator here at Bookmap, and we have this All Markets webinar every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We have a host of other streamers all week long or all day long. Go to our bookmap.com/learning-center, and then from the calendar here, just scroll down and you'll see all the different events that we have every day. So Tuesday, and then we had Oliver sparring, then me, then Crypto Lifer, a pro trader webinar we're having this afternoon. He's going to start streaming weekly with us as well on Tuesdays. We have options with Doug every day at 1:30 to 2:30, and then 2:30 to 4 we have the Algo Boys. Yeah, just want to inform you about all the different streamers we have, and really happy to offer this. You can reach out to me on our Discord or my Twitter handle here. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's take a look at these markets and see what's going on. We can do a follow-up also from yesterday if you guys want, just kind of debriefing yeah, let's actually take a look at that, the bigger picture here. So on the daily here, here's yesterday, and we were looking for we saw this move down to the bottom of the range and spike below the previous Friday, and then it came back up in the range. So we looked at the hourly in here, and then we were looking for, here's our webinar was around this time. I'm sorry, was it? It's 2 p.m. 10 a.m. That's not it. Yeah, it's here. Okay, so yeah, right around in here, here's the spike we're talking about, and then we saw this momentum coming back into the market. So we're looking for the move up into this 48.5 or 50 area, and we got that and then some for the rest of the day. It even came up to 60 and 65 up above here. It took a while for this to kind of unfold here, as you can see, and a lot of back and forth. But here we are again today, and we still see this momentum in the market here. Okay, despite the retail sales we had, was it retail sales or was it CPI data that we had earlier? The yeah, it was retail sales, less than expected, and yet we see it. The market's continuing to rally here. They pulled back, but you can see the move up again here, and we're back up near these highs yet again. So what are we looking for here? What is the bigger picture telling us? What is the order flow in the bigger picture telling us? Okay, and we're just using simple price action ranges, swings, and some volume as well in the subchart here to give us that kind of insight here. All right, and then we're going to look directly at Bookmap and go over the order flow in detail to understand what's behind these moves in here. All right, so we're just giving the outline, the bigger picture understanding here, and then we're going to drill in to find the details. All right, so looking at the football field from the 50-yard line up in the stands, and then we'll get down on the field in a few minutes here. All right, so we still have momentum here, but we're getting up near these swings. Here's the hourly here. Here's yesterday's high. Around 65 here, and you can see a little bit of slowing down here, but this is a pretty strong candle here. on the hourly. So a little bit of a pullback is warranted. It's understandable. And then, we still look for a continuation until we see something different, basically. So let's look at the 15-minute chart here on the right. And what do we see here? So, well, here's the move down. Okay, below the swing here, spike just below it here, comes right back up, and then here we are now. Yeah, a bit of a slowdown just for the moment here, as you can see in these few candles here. But yeah, if we get a deeper pullback, then maybe we'll get a move back down into about 55 here, so somewhere around there, 56, 55. We'll keep that in mind, but so far so good, nothing but green here. Right, so let's take a look at Bookmap, and then we're looking at the S&P E-mini here. Right, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, so even this price action right here is bullish. We can see the let's just zoom out a little bit here. 830. Here's our CPI data, move to the downside, and then we have our 930 cash open here. We see the move to the downside, and then look at this pretty strong move back up above. Above all of this price action here, we get our pullback, and then we get the continuation here. All right, and even this price action here is bullish, right? This is until we see something different, this is looking pretty good. The pullbacks are small. It's a small range in here, and then here come the buyers now. And I don't know about this one quite yet. I don't know if it's quite ready for a breakout here, but we've gone back and forth quite a bit here. All right, coming back down and retesting below here, exhaustion here. All right, so actually looking at this, we have a potential for the sellers here to drop it, and where might they go if we can get them to drop price through this 61 level here? Okay, we look for the stronger move to be down into about here, 58 or so. Okay, they got to trade into and through the 60 liquidity in here, and then and see if we can get the drop here. Now, it's kind of like yesterday. Not seeing a whole lot right now. Looking at this price action with the order flow and the transactions. We're looking for something that gives us a little more clarity at the moment, and right now, like that clarity would be this liquidity up here on the offer to come down lower, this liquidity on the bid to pull and add lower, and for these red dots to be a bit bigger here. Yeah, that would tip our hand and give us insight that players, participants, don't think much about all of this price action in here, and we would look for the move outside of this range back down into this kind of 58 level that we just talked about, right? So and we don't see that right now. Okay, so what do? Well, nothing. If you're looking for that move outside like that, then there's nothing to do at the moment. Okay, so maybe you're looking for a range bound trade. If you don't get that setup in here, there's a potential for a range bound trade back into the mean here, which is already done, and then maybe potentially to the outside of the range here, or just to the edge of the range here, around 63 and a half or so. 63. Let me see if we got any questions lined up here. Morning slowdown, Rob, Jack. in tube. All right, so no questions at the moment. Looking better here now, just price action wise and transaction wise only. Still looking for the offer to show a little more interest here, which it is not. But what I'm talking about here is like the exhaustion up here, sellers down here, the move back to just the center of this range here, and then we see more selling down here again. We can also put some diagonals on here and for potential breaks of it. Okay, there's exhaustion again. Okay, well, let's see if we get a few sellers right here at 61 and then a quick move down into 60. Okay, I'd look for that. And then we have the potential now for the break. Okay, so they're pulling here at 60 and a quarter. So it's looking a little better. We see a little more on the offer here at 61. So the potential's looking better here. Still nothing really great. Okay, we can also take a look at a measured move in here, what this might look like. That looks about right. Okay, we can also look at the trap volume that might be starting to unfold here. All of this selling below the 62 level here. That being a trap. And then watch buyers look for the stop run to the upside here. We do see a stop run here already on the sell side, and looking for one on the buy side to the upside here. Just not really seeing much, guys, at the moment. Anyway, that's what we see at the moment here. We can maybe jump over to look at some other markets. Yeah, the trap is set up pretty nicely here, pretty nicely. Starting to see those buyers come in, pull back already. One thing I like about the trap is the bigger trend is to the upside here. So far. All right, well, we can look at maybe some other markets here, but we can also take a look at micro ranges within here. Start to understand that. Yeah, let's see if we can get a few more sellers to hit into. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this is where the same ideas that we always cover here. You can start to see it here in this micro structure here, which almost, I mean, it's not. This is 10 seconds of data here, but it's not really microstructure. But look at the back and forth in here. Okay, so there's a few buys up here. It's mostly selling in here, and there's more sells down here, especially here, and that's where they move it. We get a few more buys up here, but there's more selling yet again down here. This is no different than understanding the a break of a range in here. Okay, we have more sellers, so that's when we're looking. When we started to see these sellers in here at this bottom edge in here, it's not exhausting out. They're selling down here. That's where we can slip down into these areas of liquidity here. Okay, so that worked out pretty nicely. We'll do the same thing again. I just want to what I want to cover here is that this small little range and understanding the order flow within this range in here is really no different than when we're zoomed out in a bigger time frame and also looking for something. Okay, so it's all the same thing. It's just more volume, more participants. Okay, so for example, look at the participants down here now. Okay, compared to up here, and then we made also a lower high here. Oh, you guys don't have, you don't got, there's no audio. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, it just must have, I must have hit the button here by accident. Um, okay, so I was just talking about, yeah, the extended move or just measured moves in here. And, these are really simple concepts. And just making the transferring this knowledge from these simple concepts that we've all read about for, all these years, and then understanding the order flow behind them, though. Okay, so some of these moves in here, so this is like an extended move here, right? This move here compared to some of these others in here. So we would look for a pullback here. Okay, and I was looking for the pullback to about here, 60 and a half to kind of 61-ish, and then for sellers to come back in again. Okay, so now we're getting kind of an equal move here, almost from here on back up. I'm looking for the sellers, though. I have a reason for looking for the sellers to try to trade it back down here to 59 and a half. Okay, so just due to the back and forth here in the market over these several minutes here. And now we never know, right? These moves here can continue to extend. They can double, they can triple, depends on the volatility in here. But this is what we do know for now, right? And there's nothing else disrupting that at the moment. Okay, so yeah, here we have some exhaustion. Here's some selling. Okay, sellers, then let's see if you can drop it back down to about here. Okay, 59 and a quarter or a half. And what I'm trying to, the main point here is to look at this here in terms of market structure with order flow, okay, and transactions. That's it. Okay. Market structure is such a vital part to understand, and how it relates, and from the big picture on down. Now, the funny thing is with our Bookmap education, we actually take the opposite stance. We take the small picture, the micro structural picture, literally, and then understand how the markets work, and then extrapolate that to the bigger picture. And I'm convinced that that's how, the markets, they work on like this on all time frames. Okay, when we're zoomed in here and understanding these little details in here, like exhaustion, sellers, looking for sellers to hit into 60, something really quick like this, this is no different than if you're looking at your daily or your, weekly chart. You can see that, now we're starting to get some buyers up here. So buyers should be able to lift it a little bit higher here, actually. I would look for that. We didn't get sellers here. Okay. So yeah, now see how this is what I'm talking about. It can auction up here. If it can transact and auction up here within this little range in here, we can go outside of that range and establish a new trading range, which is exactly what it did. Now it's only 3 ticks wide here, but it's also making another 3 tick wide range here. Okay, so this is, again, like no different than if you look at even your weekly or monthly chart or whatever time frame. Same concepts. Okay, so anyway, long-winded way to get to understanding market structure. And in fact, let me take off the heat map and the volume dots, and we're just looking at best bid and offer. So pure price action here, looking at structure. Okay, and then getting deeper insight from that structure into the transactions, which are the dots. Market buy is a green dot, market sell is a red dot. And then also the heat map, the limit buy and sell orders. Yeah, so yeah, we were looking for this move down to here. We can see it kind of did it. Okay, it didn't come down to the very bottom here, but it kind of did it, and now it's just kind of back up here. But look at the structure in here, these ranges in here. Okay, so now we're back up here, right? And we have the potential. How much more room does this move here, this structural move here, how much more does it have in it? Okay, well, if we get enough volume in here, we can come up to here. Okay, maybe up a little bit, maybe even higher, and this would be an extended move. If that happens, and then I would look for the pullback here as well. Okay. Else, I would just look for the extended move here. Now, we're just talking about market structure. Okay. And then maybe it bases back and forth in here for a while, and then we get the move, right? So these are the different scenarios that we're going through in here to understand what might happen with price action, price moves. Yeah, let's see, Rob, you sent us something here. This is one that you see all the time. Hold on a minute. And we'll also take a look at structure in terms of volume profile. High volume node, due to all of this price action in here, the move back up above, some back and forth, move right back down to the high volume node, and then continuation, right? Exactly. Now, I totally agree. There's some nuances in here. A lot of times what you'll get is or variations of this. It doesn't come to the high volume node, right? Sometimes it will come to the top here. Let me change the color. Okay, it'll come to the top of the range and then bounce, right? And then it depends. It really depends. It might even come back down to the bottom of the range. And then we look for the move up to here, then the pullback, then the continuation, right? The market structure is up here. Okay, this is what we're talking about in terms of market structure. This just means value. A high volume node basically just means value. Okay, in the auction, this is where price accepted, it rejected, explored, came back down, retested to see if like it can, these traders are still in it. Okay, and they were in this case, in this example, right? But there's variations of it here. This may come down to the bottom of the range here, okay, and then back up. Okay, may come to the top of the range here, or in this case that you drew, it comes back down to a high volume node. Right, look for the order flow within these areas in here. Now, how do you know? And that's where Bookmap can be really helpful, because what you'd look for in here, and let's just clear all this, is the liquidity to be supportive in here in the order book underneath. Okay, they're going to be they want to buy at a higher level. Okay, and then what we're also looking for now on the first move, that's a good one. You know, after the first move and the pullback and the continuation, this liquidity usually doesn't show back up. They're just getting back. A lot of traders are getting back into the market down here, okay? And they're getting a good position yet again. Adding in, once it starts to trend, you see liquidity on the offer getting filled on the way back up, right? A lot of times. So these are some of the things that we've seen over and over again over the years, right? So good stuff, Rob. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, the volume dots we'd also look for. Let's see here. Yeah, we'd be looking for the aggressors coming in here. Obviously, these would be green dots, moving this back up. Okay, here's our back and forth in here in the micro structure or small structure. And then on the way back down, we're not looking for a whole lot, right? Not so much in terms of volume on that sell side. And then down in here, maybe this liquidity gets filled. Maybe you do see some big transactions into that high liquidity here. And now these are just the different scenarios to look for as we cover in the live market. And then what we're looking for after something like that is the buyers to come back in, right? And they'll move it back up. Okay, so anyway, just some food for thought. We're going to look for this kind of activity here in the live market now. Okay, so yeah, well here's it's already kind of done what we were looking for here, as you guys can see. So we're looking for that potential move here. It didn't do the big one here. It did this one here. It came back up a little bit more shallow here, pull back. Then we got the move here back up into this liquidity up here, right? And now we are above this range up here as well. Again, guys, this is really simple market structure stuff. Just look for it, and it makes sense why this works. There are traders down in here. They are trapped. It is accepting above these areas in here. All right, let me get to some questions. Okay, sound is good. Okay. Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Low volume nodes. Low volume nodes is rejection. All right, so here's rejection down here. It is not trading down here very much. Okay, so that's why you know a lot of trade. I mean, it's so tempting, like, to look at volume profile, especially volume profile, at these areas and go, well, I'm just gonna place my limit buy orders down here, and you can get run over so easily from doing that. But if you understand the order flow and the transactions up in this structure in here, then you can do that. You would look for maybe a test in here, a quick rejection, and a move back up, and exploration, just like it's doing right now. Okay, so now we're starting to explore. So looking for this to go higher, and it just bugs me when I'm looking for that, and it just does it immediately. Still looking for it to go higher, though. Now, that said, let's look again at our moves in here. Okay, this move, pull back, this move, pull back, and then maybe 69 or 70 up here, something like that. Okay, so at least your expectations are in check here. Okay, that you're not buying up here. Look for a pullback. Okay, look at these measured moves. I don't know if Deborah's in here or not, but Deborah, this can be really helpful for you. Now, what will we look for on a pullback in here? Okay, on a pullback, we're looking for low volume on that sell side here, because look at the buyers in control here. Okay, now it's a stop run too, but that doesn't really matter. If it's going to accept above or below is what really matters here. 65 is the pivot point here. Okay, so is it accepting, and is it going to start to build out this profile here as well? Right, so strong move. I'm still looking for the pullback, to be honest. Right to here, 65. Okay, and we have our reasons here. I know this is starting to look like chicken scratch. So hold on a minute. Okay, that looks better. So Mario, does that make sense? Understand that this is just like if a shopkeeper is having a sale on toys or something. Okay, well, this is where there's no interest here to buy at all, or sell. There's very little interest down here. Okay, where is there interest? It's here, right? This is where the trading is taking place. So what does this mean? This is what people are willing to pay for this product. In this case, it's the S&P 500, and they're willing to pay for that. They think this is value, right? And we can look at it and start to understand these areas in here in terms of value, and that is the high volume node. Okay, now then let me pose this question, Mario, to you. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but just think about it here. Okay, this is value here. So if you get exploration, which we are, to the upside here, what are you looking for it to move away from this area here? Okay, in terms of order flow, or let's just start with volume. What kind of volume are you looking for? And in the meantime, I'll get back to you, Mario. Sweeps or icebergs? Well, no. See, it's simpler than that. Sweeps and icebergs or sweeps and stops are a different thing. We don't have to get too complex yet. Okay, that gets into more minutia and more details about really what's happening with this specific players, or maybe the order flow phenomena. We'll get to later. But what we're looking for is something very simple. If this is value in here, like there's hordes of people coming in saying something different, that this is not of value anymore. It's worth more. So we're looking for pretty heavy volume here, strong buy volume to move it away, tear it away from this value area. That's what we're looking for. Okay, and that's why you can start to look for even the drawing that Rob shared. This kind of rejected down here, and we were looking for it to come back down here and then reject. Basically, we're looking for a pullback into here, and we got it, right? And then we saw this in here, and we saw this kind of volume come in at the top of this range here. That's when we're looking for the extension, and it's still in discovery mode here. It's still discovering where is it have value, and it's still trying to build it in your volume profile here. Okay, so so what you're looking for for price to move away from a value area is typically it's on very, very strong volume. Not always, but typically. Okay? I mean, there can be other oddities that happen that maybe there's a wide spread, and then there's sellers up here, and that you hit the buy button and you get filled way up here, something like that. It can be very little volume in that case that moves it. Okay, and then what you would get in that scenario here, and this is why we go through all the scenarios. I don't know, maybe I'm a little fascinated by it all, but like basically what can happen is you can get this move on not so strong volume up to something like this very, very, very quickly, very steep angle, and then what you'll get is and this usually happens on some sort of geopolitical or news event, right? And then you'll get the back and forth up in here, and then what happens is your volume profile builds out over here. Okay, it'll start to build out over here. Okay, but you'll see this huge, like very low volume. It didn't quite auction properly in this area. So a lot of times, maybe it won't reverse and come back down and test this area that day. But at some point, it typically does. Right? These are your low volume nodes, your single prints, whatever you want to call them for market profile, you'll see that. So, but anyway, that's one of the scenarios. It's a possibility for price to do something like that. Okay, typically you see that strong volume, and then you're going to look for it to start to go back and forth. Reversion to POC is a whole nother thing. It's when it's accepting basic. I mean, this is looking more like it's not quite a trending day. And it's like yesterday, we were kind of looking for it to go higher still. And just like today, we're still looking for it to go higher. But how it's going to do it is not going to be it's not going to be so easy. Okay, it's not an outside day or anything like that. Until it, well, now it is an outside day. Okay, but yeah, I would actually look for some selling, some profit taking up here, to be honest, because the way that this is moved here, I would look for some profit taking. So maybe you're right, Mario. So on the bigger picture here, if this is a mean reversion, then you'd look for it to come back down. In the bigger picture, you'd look for maybe it'd come back down into about here, 48.50, 45.50, something like that. And that's asking a lot. I would look for the first would be the bounce off of or this 57-ish area here, 58. Okay, so yeah, let's see here. So then this whole value area here, okay, you'd look for a move back down to previous value. We're going through some very simple concepts in here. I'm not much of a volume profile trader, but it's, extrapolating the auction market theory to profile, I mean, is pretty straightforward. Okay? And then auction market theory to any price action in is pretty straightforward. Rob, yeah, you see it over and over again, especially in fractal markets. Absolutely. It's basically a retest of that value area. And be very careful though on that. Like I said, there's so many different variations of it. So, for example, get to it here. So, for example, here, suppose in this example that what you get is on the way up here on the breakout in here, like maybe you get this huge, maybe it's up here, like huge volume dot, right? And then you get your continuation too, right? So you can look for this back and forth, pull back to only here. That's as far as it's going to go. Okay, these transactions here, and then you may see more limit buys in here, and then you may or may not, but this would be where it retests here, and then you'll see the move right back up. Okay, maybe to the top of the range, maybe to the bottom of the range, but then the potential here for something like that. And look for it. It happens just again and again. I mean, we can go through it now and take a look. Anyway, guys, how do you put this into a trading plan? This is something you'll need to go back and study. Like here, look at this. Here it is right here. Look at the big volume transaction in here. In fact, we can zoom in a little bit closer. In here, right? Or right here, 66.5. It went down a little bit lower to where this move kind of started here and retested there. Okay, so you didn't in this example, you did not get the move all the way back down to here and then a move back up, right? It only came back down into these transactions here and then it accepted higher. Right, so there's many different variations in it, and it makes sense though here by understanding the transactions. Now let's just take that further. So in your trade, if this is something that you're interested in studying and taking this further, very simply look for a strong move, look for that big volume dot, or maybe where it went kind of back and forth in here. Here's kind of strong move, pause, strong move. So this would be like your flag pattern, and then you can look for just the retest to here. So and then look for at least a move back up to the volume. Now these are really important details in here in the order flow though. This is pretty strong volume up into here. There's some up here, still auctioned up here. Okay, it's not bad, but it's not like this volume in here though. Okay, so you want to, if there was even stronger volume up here, it would be better. Okay, then you would look for the pullback and the continuation move up into at least here to take some profit off and see how it auctions. Okay, or that's a way to manage the risk potentially. Let's clear our drawings again. Okay, here's our auction again. Now that's good, 68. There we go. Okay, so now we're getting our answer though. That's a stop run though. Okay, now one thing to be very careful about with like this image here, be very, very careful about, is because you've got to have your risk parameters in check. Okay? And because so many times you'll see this move, it'll come down here and it'll blow right through it, right? And then what will happen actually is what you get. And now this makes sense just in terms of volume profile or the structure and the market theory here. You'll get this move down to here. Maybe it does one little wiggle and then it goes like this. Okay, equal move almost. And then what you will get is a retest back to here. And then you get continuation. So just because you see this pattern a lot, this is it. You need it. And you want to make this into a strategy. Then how to protect yourself against this scenario here. Right, really, really important, because a lot of times this could be a blow off top like this way up here, and then you'll get this move, and boy, you'll get some really powerful moves the other way. It's because a lot of people are just getting clobbered on the way back down. Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't mean to bash you around at all. Rob, very much appreciate this. It was a start of a point of a discussion for many different scenarios of this pattern that you presented here. Okay, so that's what my intent was here. Yeah, Jack, very low volume right now. Okay, so there you go. So let's take a look at this. Very low volume now. Look at the volume dropping off here. Now this is pretty typical around this time of day. Okay, now let's take a look at our higher time frame. Okay, so we have our momentum. Okay, the momentum continued. That's what we're looking for. All right, so now we're on low volume though, making these highs. So one of the scenarios we can look for now is that volume to dry up. We can look for a break. And then we can look for the break from there. And then where would we look for, Mario, where would we look for the break to first go, or price to move if it can break this structure here? Where would it first go? If we see new offer coming, sure. I mean, price can do many different things. Like, stocks can go up on more sell volume. We've seen that many times. But it just has to do with the auction process, and for that particular time. 66-ish, that would be the first stop, Joe. Yeah, I would look for that. This is kind of turned into a little bit of a profile here, but is trading up into this high liquidity right now. Okay, so this is going to be really good to watch. Really good for education here. So we have high liquidity here filled, high liquidity getting filled in here, high liquidity trying to get filled in here. There's some exhaustion. Okay, there's more liquidity there. Here's our sellers. Let's see the sellers try to drop it back down into this range, back down to 68 basically. Okay, now they're still buying. Okay, so now I'm looking for the exhaustion though, because they're staying in the order book and they are transacting. Here it is right here. Okay, and here's an iceberg on top of that. Okay, so still buying. Should be a stop run here. Okay, and I am looking for our sellers now though, for a number of reasons. And here we go. Now here they're starting to pull that liquidity here at 70. They're adding more at 71. We're starting to get our sellers in here. Okay, so this could be the start of it here. And now sellers, let's see you hit it back down into R68. Okay, so now this here, Rob, I'll go through an example here. If this plays out, we'll see. This is where the sellers can just drop it right through this whole area really quickly here. Okay, because here's your structure that you had drawn up. Here's your structure. Here's your strong move. Here's your move back down to this volume profile right here. Okay, so far so good. It's holding, still holding. Okay, but let's see if there's some exhaustion. Let's see if we get our sellers here at 70. Not yet. A little bit more than that. There we go. Okay, now sellers should be able to drop through this here. I don't see much liquidity. There's exhaustion. Now they're showing on the bid, and we got a little bit of a up. So there's still some activity in here on that buy side in here, just by reading this and the auction on the bid here. There's exhaustion here at 70. See, now it's auctioning here. Okay, so yeah, actually looking for a bit more of a move higher here. Okay, here I'll cover. I had to flip, and here's why. Okay, exhaustion all the way through here at 70. Let's just zoom in a little bit more. There's no trading up here. It's exhausting. There's no market. Okay, most of the transactions are taking place in here. Go forward. Now we're starting to see transactions here. Okay, looking good. We had our iceberg as well. Okay, here is exhausting. Now we're getting buyers up here where we didn't have them before. Okay, selling. Oh, here's exhaustion again. Buyers on the offer up here. Here, there's our buyers looking for this to extend higher. Okay. Okay, same process in here by just reading this little market structure in here. We had to flip though here at this point. Can you guys see that? And let me try to make the dots a little bit bigger here. Okay, so we had exhaustion all the way up here and we had sellers down here. That's looking pretty good for the move back down lower. We also noted the offer or the bid had some activity in here, and we're getting a little bit of activity back and forth on the buy side. You'll note that like the how does the market react to the bid showing a little bit of interest in here? And we saw that there were some buyers here. We had exhaustion here. We had some buyers in here. We're looking for not much, just 2-3 tick move up to this little area here, into this liquidity for sure. All right, and there it is. All right, so let's see here. There's exhaustion, some sellers. I'm still looking for these sellers here. Now they're still buying up here though. It's just not ready yet. Still climbing higher. Yeah, thanks, Jack. Answering some questions in there. Yeah, exactly. The liquidity is the reaction between in the auction here. Is the reaction in here that we're trying to gauge. Like they're getting filled here on the offer, but there's still more buying pressure. And we're trying to read when this might exhaust out, and we're not finding any more buying pressure. And now this is an interesting one. We've seen it many times. It's more challenging. We're not making a higher high here on buying. There's a bit of exhaustion. Here's some sellers. All right, let's see now. Since we didn't make a higher high, then and if we get some, there we go. There's some selling. Now they should be able to drop it back down to 70.25, maybe lower, maybe 69 here. We're still auctioning here, still getting buyers. All right, so yeah, that idea did not work. Okay, and again, these are not trade recommendations. We're just reading the auction and then looking for the move. Due to just trying to be as objective as we can about it. Now they're even pulling here at 72. And we do have a stop run here. I'm still looking for it here. We're up at these highs in here, and they're pulling liquidity here though. Here's some test. Now this is where we'll start to see, and like this is potential spoofing in here. We don't know. But we know one thing: these guys did not transact, came in with high liquidity, and then they pulled it before the buyers were able to trade into it here. But this gives us, and that's fine. What's great about Bookmap here is that, here they are again, right? This player here, this actor, is kind of testing the market, and we're just gonna, read what happens from their test. So now we're starting to get our sellers here. Here's our exhaustion, and now we're looking for our move to unfold. Okay, this guy kind of tested the market here, and we can read it. And now we're looking for our move. Our sellers are in. They've traded down to 70. I'm still looking for more. There's a pullback already. Okay, and then looking for sellers to come back in again. Okay, they are bidding up here. Yeah. So, yeah, and we can take a look again at volume profile in here. Maybe this isn't a bad area in here, 67.5. So Rob, your play or your image, it played out to perfection here. Here's your range, move, pull back to the high volume node, and then the continuation. Now I wasn't in on it. I didn't see the buyers in here until we got up here. Oh, we did flip on that one. That's right. We flipped only when it got up to here though, because it still looked pretty good for a drop. And then I just want to be careful about, look for the other scenarios. What does the other scenario look like? Okay, in this case, your scenario played out just as you drew. Okay, so great stuff. Okay, the opposite scenario, it'll just blaze right through this so many times. Seen it. Okay, more sellers starting to come in. Oh, okay. Oh, good trading, Rob. Excellent. See, look at more sellers here, more sellers looking for them to come back down to here, retest here, 70. And then if we see selling down at 70, then why can't they extend it into 69 and 68? Okay, so here's our 70. There's some selling. All right, so now let's see. Now we do have a little bit of a bid here. It's not a whole lot, but there's, they're bidding here. I'm looking for the sellers to take these guys on at 69.5 and trade through them. Okay, they're actually pulling here. So now the sellers can drop it through here. Okay, selling at the bottom edge here, they're selling. Okay, so looking for the continuation here. Okay, maybe 68 looks pretty good here. Our high volume node would be right around in here, 67-ish. Okay, are they selling again down here? Yeah, I mean, it is auctioning down here. Look at the buyers are snatching it away. But if they can't get buyers back up above here, then we're looking for a retest back down into the range here. Right, the range is small here, very small. Yeah, we see the order book kind of flipping here. Does the volume fit with the price structure in the volume and price structure fit with the order book here? So the order book is actually kind of bullish here. They pulled here, they're adding here, and now we're getting our volume, right? And they're still pulling up here too. So yeah, we have the potential here. This is getting, we're getting next to or close to the European close. So we have to be very attentive what's going on here. There's going to be some volatility in here. Some of it's going to make sense and some of it's not. That's just how it is during volatile periods. Okay, at the very open, also during this time, and then also at the close. Yeah, Gabe, we can take a look at Bitcoin perpetual here. Hold on here though. I'm really I really want to see what happens here. Another guy in or another actor in here at 71.5, showing very high liquidity. But how does the market react to it is what we want to understand. Okay, so here it is. This here is basically getting disrupted here. This guy at 70 has to pull again though. He just came back in. He was in here, he pulled, now he's back in. It would be really bearish if we saw the sellers in here take this guy on and trade through. And then we should get the move lower. Okay, there's some selling. Still in here fighting it. Still in here. Okay, now in here at other levels below as well. Yeah, this is, be careful here. This is really kind of tricky. We just don't know. Like the order book is being kind of gamed back and forth in here. This guy's still up here at 71.5. All right, zoom out. Orders stacked from 75. Yeah, I mean, they're every point here, 72, 73, 74, 75. All right, here we go. Okay, so he pulled and we're getting our sellers now. All right, sellers, let's end this auctioning here. So we should get the move back down to this previous auction here at 69 and a quarter. And let's see this guy pull at 69 and a half. Maybe we can get a better move than 69 and a quarter. Maybe we can get down to 68. Some more sellers. Well, I mean, you can see, like, this is what we're not, you can't make this stuff up. The bid is still in here and the sellers aren't taking them on, right? So, what we're looking for is the sellers auctioning at some of these levels, but the bid is still in here. So the sellers don't really want to trade into all of this down in here. Now, if this guy maybe pulls and puts some heavy liquidity here, around 71-ish, I'd be very curious to see what the buyers think of that and what happens to the bid here as well. Yeah, well, I mean, we're still seeing that this bid and bit of buying in here. A bit on the offer too, though. Okay, this will get disrupted though, and we'll see who the victor is. Okay, so here we are again, sellers selling at 69 and a quarter or 3/4. Yeah, boy, a little 3-tick range in here. All right, well, we'll stay for just a couple more minutes here and watch this play out here. I'm still looking for some sellers here to hit this, but like we said, you can't deny the bid in here. They're here, and we're just not getting too many sellers down here. Loco, good morning. Boy, not only look, they're pulling up here. We're starting to get a bit of a bid here, catch a little bit of a bid here. As soon as I say that, they're starting to pull now. It's really between the 69 and a half and 70 and 3/4. And we're looking they keep on adding and pulling in here. So it's a hard read right now. We don't really quite know who the victor is. There we go. Here now we have some exhaustion here. We have some selling here into this liquidity. Now they're pulling here. So now the sellers can drop it into 69. Okay, so, and as soon as I say that, they start to show a little bit more at 69 here. Okay, they come back into the book. All right, so it's really not a whole lot to hang our hats on here. These levels in here have been it kind of started right back in here where we saw this, and then we saw this larger player in here, and we're trying to gain some insight from them. It started here actually, right? With this actor here testing the market here. What was the reaction? And even before that, what it really started with was all this liquidity getting filled on the offer on the way up. Okay, so we're looking for our exhaustion. We have other reasons to look at this as well on the higher time frame, or our extended move and then a pullback here in the bigger picture. And that's what we're looking for in here, is just a pullback in this bigger picture move here. And that was it basically. Guys, please hit the like button. That always helps us here. And let's jump over to Bitcoin quickly. I do have Bitcoin here, but it's $10 per tick. So I don't know how much we're going to get out of this here. But same ideas. Now, this market does trade a little differently here. You'll see these kinds of swings, and our liquidation indicator captures a lot of great information here. That you know, these were liquidated accounts, liquidated accounts on the downside here, and then back up again. So some volatility in here in Bitcoin at the moment. The move that has dominated was, again, these sellers moving it away from a value area in here. Okay, so and then here's the attempt by the buyers, and we can see it here. Here's our structure up here. Actually, let's just say it's here. Okay, well, it traded back up into that structure here. It rejected, it came back down. Rob, perfect stuff. Here's your high volume node here. It retests it here, comes back up, retests back up to this high, or where it dropped from up here, and now we're right back down. Right, so anyway, that's and now the ES is moving. Okay, as soon as I go over it, there's our move. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of what we're looking for. There was a hard read in here. There were really back and forth in here, and yeah, that's all I can say about that. Like we were trying to read the order book and the auction in here, and then finally we do get the sellers. They trade into this here. Now let's just look at it here. Same ideas. There's a little bit of an auction up here, but most is down here. And then our sellers move it here. And they take these guys on at 69. And now here they are again. So this is looking good in here. Right? They are trading down here at 68.5, and look at how they're pulling in here. So let's look for 67, right? And there's the move to 67. Now they're still pulling even here at 67. Okay. Anyway, that's kind of what we're looking for. Move down to this line here, and continue to look. Right. So Mario, let's cover this here. So bigger picture in here. We have our move to the upside. We were looking for that continuation in this move until we see something different, but we're also looking for it kind of breach the outside edge here, and then we're kind of looking for a slowdown in here, and we're looking for either a lot of liquidity getting filled on the offer, exhaustion by the buyers, aggressors, and then a pullback. Okay, and then the pullback areas. This looks like another good. First off, is the top of this swing and range here, but it looks really good here around this. I don't know, 58 to 62. Let's call it. There's a little kind of node in here that we'd look for as a potential pullback here. All right. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Look for the order flow to guide you to those areas. Okay, so 61 is down here. Not bad. I mean, I'd say 63 looks a little bit better to me due to the breakout from here, and we have liquidity down here as well. 62 and a half, let's call it. Right. All right. Well, yeah. Let's wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for coming. Hit the like button. Like I said, that always helps us. And we will catch up with you. Let's see. Tomorrow, JTrader. We have at 1 p.m. we have Options Millionaire with crypto traders. That'll be moving forward every Tuesday at 1 p.m. And then at 1:30 we have Doug with Options with Doug, and then we have the Algo Boys later. Tom is off this week. He will be back next week. Okay. Thank you everybody, and we'll catch up with you next time.